Brondo's got what plants crave.
Yeah, it's got electrolytes.
What are electrolytes? Do you even know?
It's what they use to make Brondo.
Yeah, but why do they use them to make Brondo?
Because Brondo's got electrolytes.
Hey, there we go. Hello. Hello, everybody. Hey, Smark, how's it going? Oh, I was having some problems with my macro keys. OBS updated and it always screws everything up when it does that. See, because now my color cancellation, there's something wrong with my light balance or my color cancellation on my... Stupid crap. You stupid thing. Why is it doing that? Well, anyway. I don't know if I can even... If I drop this a little bit. Oh, just a little bit. There. A little bit better now. I got a weird kind of border around my head, but I'll take it. Okay. Anyway. We are going to continue our Citizen Sleeper playthrough. Machinist. 38th day. Cycle 38. We have removed our tracker. We, I suppose, ended our burgeoning friendship with Ankita the mercenary because she took advantage of us to murder somebody. So we don't like that. That's not a quality we look for in friends. All right. 6, 3 4s, and a 3. What are we working on right now? I don't think there's anything that's rushing us right now, thankfully, because we disabled our tracker. As soon as we disabled the tracker, Feng also made it look like we had died. So Ethan assumed that we had died somehow and left. So we have nobody coming after us right now. We have 1 upgrade point. I think I'm saving up. Oh, we have a +2 in engineering now. Great. So, oh my. What's going on here? Oh, right. So we killed Yannick. We found out that Yannick was potentially a proxy for S&R, the company that built us, and we disabled his uploader or whatever, and his body just dropped to the ground. So that's interesting. All right, doing okay for food. We have a house here. We need to feed our stray cat. Don't forget to feed the stray cat. Okay, Caster's table. I think, yeah, we gave Caster all the data they want. I think, like, we can go and maybe put some time in with the commune. We're waiting for the aviary to grow some stuff. We have the labs. The labs want spores. I have a dorm. I have access to a dorm here. That's just somewhere to rest. It doesn't seem to actually do anything right now. We can put in work with the commune, but that's just for energy. There's not really, it's not ticking anything down. So I think we'll go here and we'll try to get some more grove spores for the lab. How many grove spores did the lab want? Potentially 3. Each one of these will give us 2. All right. Give it a shot. 2. Drop another 4 in there. 3. Okay, well, I mean, it works out, I guess. Rico's grateful for the contribution. Sleeper, you warm my heart with each delivery. Thank you. You're welcome. We're hoping for some kind of answer about The gardener, looking for the gardener AI. Somewhere in here. Okay. Sleeper. Rico greets you without so much as looking up from her work. I have some of yours here. Come see. She beckons you over to a heavyweight-looking console, wired to a series of specimen jars, some of which contain your spores. What does it say? The spores you have here are a real cocktail, a selection of types from within the groves, but I've been able to isolate a few. She taps one of the specimen jars. Here we have Tricholoma matsutake. Rico breezes through the Latin and Japanese pronunciation as if it was nothing. A species Solheim somewhat modified for use on the station. She brings up a panel on her console showing a chemical composition, all gradiented bars and obtuse acronyms. This is the composition of the Solheim modified matsutake spores. Modified? Yes, every species on the eye is a tweaked variant of Solheim's, of course, but that's not the point. Rico brings up another panel, identical in layout, but with wildly different colors and numbers. You see, this is what your matsutake spores look like. They aren't the same? That's the conclusion, yes. Rico glances at the specimen jar, as if it might have something to add. They are fundamentally the same spores, but they carry different chemicals, different signals. She leans back and sighs. Solheim may have introduced their own tweaked versions in the beginning, but the groves have and still are affecting them. Affecting them how? It's hard to tell without samples of fully grown mushrooms. She meets your eye, and herein lies our problem. She moves to another desk, where two trays sit side by side. The first contains nothing but plant mulch. The second you smell before you even look at it, the pungent aroma of the fruiting matsutake like rotting, sodden overalls laced with an edge of spice. The matsutake here are grown from Solheim stalks, pulled from a spore vault in this complex, she winks. They are delicious, by the way. She sets them aside. The empty tray is germinated with the spores you collected. No activity, no germination. Nothing. The groves are full. Yes, they are. Rico looks at you directly, and you suddenly realize how much she is enjoying this. So here's our puzzle, Sleeper. Spores from the groves won't grow in the lab, but gathering fruiting bodies from the groves is too unpredictable. We need to grow a fruiting body from some of these spores so we can track it, understand it. In short, I need you to become my mushroom farmer. Actually, I already started. Rico looks impressed. Well, an eager mycologist. I'd never have guessed. I assume you set yourself up in the aviary? I've been eyeing that place up for its proximity to the groves. Bring me whatever grows, not just matsutake. There's more than a couple of variants in there, so I'll need plenty of samples. She plucks a matsutake cap from the tray. These little things are reflections of their conditions, their smell, their taste, their chemistry. It all derives from the conditions of their growth. She smells the cap. Enough of these and we'll have a picture of what is happening here, of the ways in which this biosphere is modifying itself or being modified, whichever the case may be. Rico pops the matsutake cap into her mouth, taking you by surprise. And don't worry, Sleeper, she says while softly chewing. If this turns out to be a dead end, I'll make sure that not a single mushroom will go to waste. Okay, so we already have a 2-day head start on that. And the labs want Girol samples or matsutake samples. Well, I have some Girol, so here you go. Beautiful. Rico gushes as you hand over the golden caps. You've never seen anyone so excited about mushrooms. The rich and pungent matsutake caps are Rico's preferred subject of study. Something about their environmental sensitivity. Rico needs mushrooms grown in the aviary to study. She'll accept Girol caps, but matsutake caps are better. Alright, so we wait for those to grow. I could work the stacks for some cryo. Meh. I think we have a decent amount. Oh, you know what I should do? I should grab some scrap from the wastes. Can I do that? Yeah. All right. Give me some scrap. Oh, that's a lot of energy, though. Okay. I mean, yikes. That scrap is meant to keep me in stable condition, but it used 2 energy to do it. Alright, now I have to buy some food from Memphis. And he wants matsutake mushrooms also. And spacers, maybe? Because we went up there and did something with the spacers and found this lounge where all the spacers hang out. Suppose I could have bought some meals there, but it doesn't really matter. I'm wondering why there's so many different places to like buy food for different values. I wonder if you can like make story decisions or you get cut off somewhere. Maybe for people who don't spread themselves out. I have kind of been spreading myself out and doing like multiple goals. All right. This makes more sense to me because I have a +1 in it. I don't even want to use that 3 right now. You know what? I'm going to use 3. Don't be negative. Okay. Neutral. I'll put the 6 here because that's guaranteed positive. It doesn't see... Actually, you know what? Maybe I should put it here because I get stuff for interface actions, don't I? I should be doing stuff I have perks in. Yeah, see? I got 5 crow for that. Okay. Oh, we unlocked something else. Bliss, a ship mechanic. New character. They're floating. No way, Moritz. You take those substandard filters back to the shitheels who sold you them. You hear the voice echoing out of the bay as you pass, and moments later someone who you assume is Moritz drifts out with it, dragging a pallet of filter cartridges by a tether. Yeah, because this whole section is all weightless. Hey, you out there. The same voice echoes out at the entrance. Looking for work? Yes? I just need a hand. Get in here. The voice is coming from someone shorter than you expected. She is floating in the microgravity of the docking bay, beside a half-deconstructed life support unit that looks like it might have exploded at some point. She points a wrench in your direction. You know anything about these things? She doesn't wait for an answer. Scratch that. Just help me with the casing. Help her. All right, then. She deftly moves around the unit, making space for you beside the central seam in the dented case. Just take a grip here and lift out and up. Then I can get in and unbolt it. She whacks the unit with the wrench. Whole thing is twisted to shit. You dig your fingers under the casing and lift it away, the metal squealing from the force. She puts her hands under, spinning the wrench to slip out the bolts, catching them in her other hand while they spiral free. All good. The casing lifts off, revealing the ornate piping of the unit's interior. She whistles at the mess of ducts and filters. By the way, everyone calls me Bliss. She pats you on the shoulder, offering little in the way of an explanation. Is this your bay? It is for now, yeah, whether I like it or not. She looks at you like that should mean something. Bliss starts pushing and pulling at the ductwork, looking for fractured pipes. We haggle for contracts, but the good ones get snapped up quick by the bigger bays, so here I am trying to get this M2 unit running again for one of the freelance tugs' small-time stuff. Hold this. She rips out a ribbed pipe and hands it to you like a freshly caught fish. We turn stuff around fast and neat, and maybe we get a chance at landing something bigger. Something starts hissing in the unit and Bliss quietens it with a precise whack. But to be honest with you, the way things are going, I can already see the other crews licking their lips, ready to take this place over. She looks up at you. I'm almost out of luck. What happened? Long story. Some people just can't keep promises. She keeps working, twisting aside pipes with care. There we are. Bliss pulls her hand from deep inside the unit and out it comes, clutching a lumpen cube scorched black. This thing must have overloaded and popped half itself out the side. You both duck down to the side of the unit and spot the exit wound, its edges fringed with more scorch marks. Grab me a replacement converter from the racks, will you? Head to the rack. You kick off from the unit and drift over to the wall racks, where a catalog of parts sits secured in clamps. Colored tape and scrawled notes flutter across the wall, a complex organizational system of Bliss's own design. Or just a big mess. You try to pick out the right part. What do they want? An M2 converter? You grab the part and push back to the unit. Bliss holds out an arm and you pass it over, the converter spinning gently as it leaves your hand. Perfect, you passed. She straightens up from the unit. That is, if you want to work here. Bliss rubs her hands clean, looking down at her palms. Truth is, I need a hand here. My partner skipped out on me and left me with a whole mess. You seem like you might at least be better at spotting a clean air filter than Morris. I'll consider it. Wait, she frowns at the racks. That's not all of it. My old business partner. They rinse the place, empty the accounts. To bid for jobs we need to put down deposits, bring in parts, pay tug fees for that. She looks nervous, embarrassed. We need chits. An investment? Exactly. Partners, straight split. Bliss settles herself against the unit and looks off in the distance. I guess I look pretty stupid. Here I am asking any random passerby to be my business partner. No offense, she manages a smile. I get it. Thanks, she meets your eye. I appreciate it. Bliss goes back to working on the unit. Look, it's no pressure. You find the money or you find someone who has, or you just forget the whole thing, up to you. She gestures for you to help her refit the casing, and you both slot it back into place. I think I'm good to wrap this one up now, for now. But if you are into it, come back and we can bid on a new contract. Something to get our teeth into. Something that pays. She gives you a serious look. You can trust me. I don't say this stuff lightly. You kick away from the bay, propelling yourself back to the handholds at the entrance. You slip out with a wave, and as you do, someone slips back in. You hear Bliss as you glide down the passageway. Moritz, I swear to God, if those filters aren't clean, you smile. Shh, seems like this could be interesting. Alright, I have a new drive. Help Bliss compete. Bliss needs investments and hard work to turn a repair bay around. Could you be her business partner? Invest in her bay. She wants 100 cryo. Scam or an opportunity? Bliss seems solid enough this might be your best chance to get in on the hub's repair trade. I do not have 100 cryo right now, so I don't have anything now. I'm out of dice. So it is time to go sleep. Oh, what I have ticking up tomorrow. I don't think anything ticks up tomorrow. Alright. End cycle? I don't need that scrap until tomorrow for condition. Feed my stray cat. Dice aren't great. The 6 and the 5, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1, I guess. Seem better. Let's see what's going on over here. I gotta make some cryo today. I can make cryo. I think all this stuff is still... It's all still dark. Do I get paid in cryo here? I do 16 cryo. But really, if I want to make... money... You know what? I get paid doing this, and this ticks up, and I have a +2 to this now. So I can use this 4, and it turns into a 6. I can do some gambling. I can put in work at the bar. I haven't finished any of this bar work. There's a whole bunch of stuff I haven't done. Let's drop a 6 in here. That'll pay me. I'm just like going around the station doing odd jobs for cash. But it's ticking things up, so. I think I can do one more thing here to finish with the hub, right? Yeah, access manifests. Okay. Oh. Kisho capsules, spacer sleeping berths. The only place to sleep on the hub. Hacked off a colony ship and welded to the ring. They are surprisingly expensive to rent. So that's 60 cryo to buy one of those sleeping berth. I don't think so. I'm going to re-roll these. 5 and a 1. Nothing up here. Though it's weird that there's still like hunter progress up there. I'm wondering what that's about. I can gamble. That'll give me 24 cryo. I don't have any data. And I have a 1. Yadigan agents for 1? Yeah. Just making cryo. That's all I'm worried about right now. 2 Yadigan data, which I can sell to Havenage. And then I need to eat. Memphis. Give me some fungi. Alright. So tomorrow, whatever's going to happen with Rabaya, and also I think my spores are going to be done germinating in the aviary. So I'll have those 2 things to check out tomorrow. Alright, pretty quick day. Also have like a ship mine core that I could sell. And a ship mine fragment. I don't think I need those anymore. You know what? I know where to get them from if I need them. So maybe it's worth just selling them for now. I'm going to do it. I'm going to sell that ship mine core. I know how to get them. If I have to. Maybe I should hang on to the fragments because they don't sell for as much. But if I get 3 of them, I can put them together and sell them for 150. Alright, I have almost 300 cryo. So I can absolutely go and invest in Bliss's opportunity here. So I'm going to do that before we end this cycle. Bliss is incredibly grateful. I'll pay you back every chit, I promise you. You guess you 2 are partners now. Alright. I got an achievement. Buy into the hub's competitive repair market. Bliss is bidding on jobs at the hub. It'll take a few cycles and some perseverance before one comes in. Alright. That's the investment opportunity. I do have +2 in engineering, so maybe, like, I can put dice into that and make a decent amount off of repairs or whatever. Alright. Time to end this cycle and see what happens tomorrow. Oh, I want to repair, keep myself in stable condition. Alright, now we will end the cycle. Feed my cat. Well, it's not my cat. Feed the cat. Alright, Rabaya first. Even before you enter the office, you can hear the sound of Rabaya working the heavy bag. She's hammering it, the chain creaking as it shakes with each hit. She's been like this since... Sabine doesn't finish the sentence. They are sitting on a stool looking at the terminal in the corner, searching through the SNR data you pulled all those cycles ago. How have you been? I'm well, Sleeper. Happy to no longer be hunted. They smile. Yadigan has plenty to deal with, and without Yannick, I'm free. They glance nervously at Rabaya. Rabaya stops punching, and in the silence you can hear her breathing hard. Sabine looks over at her, and you sense something between them. You realize you haven't seen them together since they tried to kill each other in the same unit. A lot has changed since then. They hooked him up like a puppet, Rabaya hits the bag, rigged that thing in his head so they could control him, push the old Yannick out. I don't know why they let them in. Rabaya throws a few more punches, but it's a lesson. Don't let them in. Another flurry. Yadigan shouldn't deal with corporations, and we never will again, she spits. She comes away from the bag. At least Yannick's death has been treated as natural. There's a chance we come back from this, that Yadigan can hold on, but there are opportunists trying to take control. Sabine turns to you. Yes, but now the connection has been broken. I've been looking at removing the trackers from the implants in Yadigan's enforcers. It's a significant job, but I think with time I can do the surgeries. Rabaya walks away from the bag towards the far side of the unit. Those surgeries will never happen. If Yadigan collapses, she shouts back at Sabine. Clearly this is a well-worn argument in this unit. Will Yadigan really collapse? I don't think so, no. Rabaya doesn't either. They look over at her. At least not when she's calm. What I understand now is that Yadigan can be something if we want it to be. Coming here from SNR, from the core worlds, all I saw was a gang, and with Yannick keeping me on a tight leash, they shudder. Rabaya believes, and I want that belief. They look unsure. I also want to be done with SNR, but I doubt they're done with me. They glance away, rubbing their shoulders. And you and Rabaya? Sabine fixes you with a look. Yes, Sleeper. Isn't that obvious? They smile. I've been wanting to say, Sabine begins nervously, I'm sorry I didn't tell you where I came from. I know I've apologized before, but I want to again. They pause. Properly. When I leaked the data on the Sleeper program, it was to try to help people like you. They grit their teeth. But after all the cycles here, being pushed down, pushed around, trying to survive, all that got away from me. So when you turned up, they sigh, it shook me up. They run a hand through their hair. But I ended up here, so they look at Rabaya. Oh, of course. They reach into a pocket and take out a handful of vials. These are the last of the case. You can have them. They drop them in your hands. After these last few, I don't know what we can do. With the SNRP connection broken, they look down. But I know there are other ways. Repairs, other pharmaceuticals. I even heard there are some labs out on the Greenway. Perhaps they can help? They meet your eye. I'm sorry I can't do more. Thank you for everything. They look away, their eyes bright with tears. Rabaya crosses back to you both and sits beside Sabine. They look at each other, and you can't help but smile at the idea of them together. What are you two plotting? Rabaya grins. Sabine laughs, and the sound is a welcome one. You watch the two of them teasing each other and smile. Later, when you leave, you take that handful of vials out of your pocket and look at them. You can still feel that core of anger deep down inside, and you don't know if it will ever leave. But SNRP doesn't own you anymore. They can't, because this place, these people own you. They're what makes you get up every cycle. They're what keeps you breathing. You put the vials away and walk through the low end. Your senses tuned to every sight, every smell, and every sound, soaking it all in, living. True. True that. Drive complete. Alright. So, I have 3 vials of stabilizer. That's nice. That'll last me a little bit. But, yeah, now the question is, how do we get more? I can kind of keep myself going on scrap for a while. Hi. Hi, kitty. What are you doing? You are a good girl. Oh, kitty. Dad, what are you doing? She's been very eager for attention. She's been very demanding. Very demanding recently. She comes in when I have my work meetings, and as soon as it's my turn to talk in the work meeting, she'll sit just out of reach and start screaming as loud as possible. And I can't reach her, and I'm trying to talk in my meetings. She does that when I'm streaming now too. That's okay. Right, Kitty? You good girl? Alright. I love my kitty. So in 2 days, these dudes will show up and I can buy a ton of scrap from them. I have 2 upgrade points now. I could keep 2 dice even when condition is breaking. Obsessive haggler. I think I want to do interface +2. So this is why I think I'm like nearing the end game, because I'm getting to the point where I'm like getting +2s and like a lot of skills here. Anyway, we will see. For now, these dice kind of suck. Oh, we go check out the aviary though. Harvest mushrooms. +2 random rare mushrooms on a success, or on a neutral outcome, I get droll caps. So I'm going to drop a 5 in there to get me rare mushrooms, please. Clubhead caps, strange unidentified club-shaped fruiting bodies, and Matsutake caps. Maybe the labs can synthesize more stabilizer. Oh, if the labs could synthesize stabilizer, I would be able to live here indefinitely. That would be the best. I need one piece of scrap. This is dangerous, though. I'm gonna use the 4. Just give me one scrap. Okay. Ooh, used a lot of energy, though. I'm gonna re-roll these 2s. Oh, that's way better. All right. Let's spend a 5 sunbathing. Get my energy back. Repair myself with scrap. I'm getting to the point where I am... So, for 2 good dice per day, I can get a scrap, regenerate my energy. That's basically a system of self-sustaining decisions right there. So that might not be so bad. I'm going to do another harvest here. I got another club head cap. I don't know what those are. What they're even used for. And I have a 4. I have a 4 left. I think I'm going to go spend that on the shuttle here. There was that, I don't even remember their names. Those other 2 people that were hoping to get onto the ship. All right. Each shift, a crowd of would-be workers gathers outside the shipyard, each of them clinging to a 4-digit number printed on the receipt paper. These are their assignment numbers, and you are either called for a shift or you aren't. As you arrive, the crowd is restless and chatter rumbles through the lines. For those who, like you, have graduated to the work teams, shifts are guaranteed. Having just walked out of a meeting with a supervisor, where you were praised for your efforts, you feel the glow of a job well done. Yet you can't help but feel empathy for those huddled as you pass, waiting for their number to come up. You keep your head down as you leave the shipyard, feeling a little guilty as you do. Hey, sleeper, wait up! Lem and Mina, that's who. Lem's voice trembles as he shouts above the rumble of the crowd, and you turn to see him pushing through, Mina crying in his arms. Lem, good to see you, friend. He is breathing hard after shouldering through the waiting workers. You made the work team, good for you. He tries to catch his breath, stroking Mina's hair as he does. Shh, baby, give me a second here. He smiles weakly at you as he comforts her, and her cries start to fade. Out of the crowd, he sets Mina down by his side, shiny streaks down both of her cheeks. As he does, you see he's clutching an assignment number on a crumpled piece of paper. Waiting on a shift? You know how it is. He puts his hand on her shoulder, and she clings to his side. Esther, who usually takes her, is sick. He stretches. I don't know what a noise sounds from the entrance. A klaxon, followed by a list of numbers growing brightly on a display screen. The crowd responds instantly, pushing and pulling as people try to wade to the entry checkpoint. Lem stops and turns back toward the crowd, then glances down at the crumpled paper. That's my number. Shit. Mina. He starts patting the pockets on his gear and glancing around. Go, I'll watch her. He blinks a little, staring. Thank you, all. He crouches to Mina. You're gonna stay with our friend here, okay? They're gonna keep you safe, and he stands back up. Here, take her bag. He shoves it into your hands. She's got food, Shit, I have to go. He backs away into the crowd. Mina, I'll be back real soon, okay? Be good. Then Lem disappears into the roiling crowd, who are now trying to get into the shipyard before it locks down. Mina stands staring. Suddenly small without Lem at her side, she fixes you with a dark-eyed look you can't quite read. Let's move. She holds the stare, unmoving. The 2 parallel tear tracks still glint on her cheeks. You okay, Mina? She sniffs and looks down. Look in the bag. You unlatch the top of the bag and see a few metal containers fashioned from scrap components. A battered slate sips on top, blinking a low battery warning. And tucked beside it is a ragged rabbit, hand-sewn. Take the rabbit. You pull the rabbit out of the bag, its long limbs waggling as you do. Mina goes to jump and grab it, but holds herself back. She stands and hugs herself, eyes on the rabbit. What's their name? Mina turns away and looks at the entrance to the shipyard. This isn't going well. Give her the rabbit. You hold the rabbit out and Mina snatches it from your hand. She hugs it tightly without looking away from you. Bun Bun, she says, staring you down, ferocious despite her size. Hi, Bun Bun. You move a little closer as you speak, closing the gap. He doesn't speak, she says. She looks at you suspiciously, but her face softens a little. She waggles Bun Bun in front of you and then walks him up your arm and onto your shoulder where he sits. She pokes your arm a couple of times. Are you really a robot? Sort of. Yeah, she thinks. Me too. Mina has more questions, lots of questions. Questions about how you breathe or if you rust. But before long, you're talking about rabbits, and what Esther, the lady who usually takes her, smells like, whether or not fairies live in the eye's heating pipes. You pass a time like this, sitting side by side on the floor of the walkway as others pass by. Sometimes talking, sometimes drawing on the slate, sometimes playing with Bun Bun the rabbit. And this is how Lem finds you, just as both of you are starting to yawn. He is dirty and tired, but Mina leaps up his leg and into his arms as he stumbles backwards. You two get on okay? He asks, trying to keep Mina from climbing onto his shoulders. We managed. Mina glances carefully at you, hiding a smile that is slowly growing. Well, 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 looks like Meanie can be nice. He pokes her in the ribs and she squeals in delight. Thank you, friend, I mean it. He gives you a warm, wide smile. I owe you. Look, he glances around. It seems like Esther, the lady you usually watches her, is going to be out for a spell. If you ever have some time, I'd really appreciate you coming down to our place in the low end, he grins sheepishly, if you have time. But now I have to take this one to eat. He plays at biting Mina and she giggles in response. See you, sleeper. He waves and they stumble off down the corridor, drawing gazes from passing spacers, as Mina's laughter echoes down the corridor in bright squeals. Nice. New drive discovered. Help Lem work. If Lem wants to leave on the sidereal horizon, he'll need someone to watch Mina while he works his way under the construction crew. That's fair. Is that here then? Oh, so this is now... Okay, so I've been promoted to the assembly team working on the hull itself, welding the fabricated blocks of the ship into place. A vast job. That is a very vast job. The vast colony ship is coming together block by block. Each cycle you see another piece slot in place. So I'm assuming this is like if I wanted to leave the station on this colony ship. I don't know where... Helping Lem... Oh, he said low end, I think, right? It must be down here. Somewhere. There he is. Lem and Mina's unit. Babysit. Lem can't work shifts in the shipyard unless someone watches Mina. You two seem to get along last time, and Lem is desperate. A ticket out. Unless Lem gets time in the shipyard, he won't qualify for the sidereal crew lottery. Watching Mina gives him that chance. Alright. Well, looks like I've got a new priority. I want to make sure that Lem gets entered into that lottery. Lem and Mina. Because they want to leave the station. I don't know if I want to, but they want to. Okay. Out of dice. Did I feed my stray cat? I don't remember. I'm going to do it again. Feed the stray. Okay. End the cycle. Six, 5, 4, 2, 1. How are we doing up here with Bliss? One more day for Bliss? I gotta go to the wastes and grab scrap. Can use a 5 on that probably. Oh, this will make me very hungry though if I do this. I don't think that matters until the end of the day. We'll find out. This is the first time I'm dropping to 0 energy. I got a positive outcome, which was just straight up getting a scrap with no energy loss. Oh. Unexpected. Can I harvest? I'd like to use... you know what? We'll just hope. 50-50 chance. Did it. Okay. Matsutake again. Alright. Oh, Spore Catcher. Putting those sample collecting skills to good use. That was my achievement. So now I have to gather more spores if I want to do that again. But I have more Matsutake caps to put in here. Close. If I have one Girol cap, I could do that. Alright. So I have a 6. I don't really need anything. Need. I'm going to use this 6 on babysitting. Weird thought, but I'm going to do it. There you go. Oh, and I got energy too. By the end of the day, Mina curls up in your lap as you read her a story. She's asleep when Lem gets back, and you two eat together. Alright, nice. I got fed. And I have a 1 and a 2, which I'm going to re-roll. 5 and a 6, I'll take that. Alright. I am going to go gather spores, I guess? This thing's flashing. Oh, I have 3 points now. I think I'm going to take Intuit. +2 for Intuit actions. And then save up for interface. I'm doing a lot of Intuit actions recently. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that. So I think like finding, like foraging for grove spores and Girol caps are both Intuit, for example. So I can drop a 5 in here. Get more spores. I need 3 spores though. But I only need 1 Girol cap. So here's the interesting thing. I'm going to do this because if I hand that into the lab, I'm done. Right? So we'll finish this off. I can grow more stuff later if I need to. I don't even know what these club head caps are. So this should finish this. Yeah. Rico meets you at the entrance to the lab, leaning on her crutch with a glint in her eye. Walk with me, sleeper. I'd like to tell you a story. She makes her way down the corridor that leads back up towards the main commune building. When people first crossed what we call the Founder's Gap into the Greenway, they did so against the wishes of Andre Erlin. At the time, Erlin was trying to stabilize the Union and establish control over the Eye in the wake of Solheim's collapse. It was chaos, competing factions, failing systems, so many dead and injured from the riots. That was his priority. Listen. You both crossed through a glass-roofed tunnel, the greenway outside crowded with vines and branches dappling in the light. Erlin had written the greenway off. Cut off from the rest of the station and linked to a broken spoke, he claimed it was only a matter of time before everything here would die. He refused to let anyone abandon their duty to the Union and cross. They were traitors to the cause, or as good as. Rico continues, making her slow but steady way into the inner gardens of the commune. There weren't many of us, but we believed what was here was worth saving. We had to keep our plan secret until we crossed, and some of us left people behind. She pauses to catch her breath, her voice cracking. It is difficult to know if from effort or emotion. What we found was a disaster, nothing like what you see here. Half of the greenway was leaking oxygen into space, the plants flash frozen. The other half was a swamp of mulch as decaying matter clogged every system. We worked hard, we lost good people, we cleaned up and closed up, but it was never going to be enough. After many, many cycles, we all knew this place was doomed, but we kept on working, talking less and less, because we couldn't face it. We all developed a death wish. If the Greenway was going to die, so would we. What changed? Everything, Rico smiles. We crossed some invisible boundary, tipped some biological scale, and the Greenway started to recover. Plants flowered, crops sprouted. For the first time, we reaped the fruits of our labor. Rico smiles, looking up at you. We thought it was us, that we managed to do just enough to end the cycle of decay. I thought we'd saved the Greenway, until today. You pass into the grow beds of the commune, rich with the hustle and bustle of Hypha members planting and harvesting. For a while, Rico is quiet, and you both simply observe the hypnotic movements of the work crews, the eager chatter washing over you like a wave. Rico smiles to herself. I should have known, of course, that our arrogance was unfounded, but we needed to believe back then. We needed a myth to bring more people across the gap. You both move into a smaller corridor, Rico following some direction unknown to you. What you have shown me is that, back then, the Greenway saved us, not the other way around. Tell me, have you ever consumed one of the Matsutake or Girol caps you have been growing? No. They can be difficult to prepare without proper equipment, she muses, but you should try them. After all, they were designed for you. Rico has a mischievous look. At first I thought it was the location they were grown in that made the mushrooms from the aviary, from the labs, or from the grove different to each other, but what I've come to understand is that it is the person growing them. The Matsutake and Girol caps you brought me are totally unique, containing compounds never usually found in similar specimens in my possession. Many of these compounds aren't even digestible for humans, but for a sleeper like you. Rico smiles as she leads you into the internal garden of the commune where the Haifa members have planted species from all over the Greenway. Back when the tide turned, when the Greenway started to recover, we all felt something, a response. It was as if this place was not just alive, as a forest is alive, but alive in other ways. Communicative, responsive. We shrugged it off at the time, but now I understand why. Rico stops and turns to you. This place is responding to us, adapting itself to us. It is growing fruiting bodies for you, for me. It is adapting, changing. It is, in short, displaying all the signs of sentience. The Greenway is sentient? Perhaps not the Greenway, but the ecosystem itself, or something within it. Rico sits on a bench within the peaceful gardens and gestures for you to join her. When you've been growing the Girols and the Matsutakes in the aviary, those species so familiar to the Greenway, have you discovered any others? Yes. Rico can barely contain her excitement. I should like to see those. Please bring me some next time you're here. You look around the garden, amazed at the sense of peace within it. Rico interrupts the silence. There is a species of mushroom that I haven't seen in years. It is dark, short, shaped like a club. We first found it in those early days, when we were working to save this place. It was around the time that we started to lose our first members. They were succumbing to some infections, some mold growing deep in the dark mulch that drowned this place. At that point, we thought we were lost, and then these mushrooms emerged from that same black mold. We tested them, and saw that they contained some compounds that counteracted the mold. They contained an antidote. Of course, as a botanist, I saw this as part of the natural processes of this ecosystem, even if the timescales seemed absurdly short. But what I am wondering is if that antidote was a gift. Rico meets your eyes. Perhaps if you are patient, you will receive your gift too, sleeper. You both sit for a while, Rico seemingly done telling stories for today. You watch the light playing off the leaves and plants around you and wonder what forces could be at play in this place. After a while, you stand and leave with a quiet nod to Rico, leaving her to her memories. Interesting. So the gardener AI is...
Brondo's got what plants crave.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's got electrolytes.
What are electrolytes? Do you even know?
It's what they use to make Brondo.
Yeah, but why did they use them to make Brondo?
Because Brondo's got
Brano's got
electrolytes. Greenway, brought to you by Brondo. Yeah, so it's like the gardener AI is taking care not just of the Greenway's ecosystem, but also like taking care of the people who live there as well. So the mushrooms that we germinated in here were tuned for our unique sleeper biology, which is really interesting. I already have 3 clubhead caps, so I'm going to give them to her now. She wants 3 of them. You hand them over to an eager Rico who immediately begins work on the samples. Are these fruiting bodies the same that emerged during the early days of the collapse, or something else? I don't know. We'll find out. Clubhead analysis. Ryuko is at her bench, running small vials of some liquid through an old chemical analysis machine. The whirring of the spinning drum fills the lab with white noise, and you aren't sure if she notices you approach. Sleeper, it's good to see you. She looks up smiling. This little project of ours has been keeping me awake the past few cycles, but right now, well, I think I have something. You should rest. I know my limits, she laughs to herself. I just don't like paying attention to them. The drum finishes spinning and Rico lifts a vial from it, holding it up to the light. This is something I extracted from those club heads you've been bringing me. And according to my analysis, it is a substance totally unique on the Greenway. Look at the small amount of liquid in the vial. Any idea what it might be? Rico asked without looking away from the vial. Medicine? You aren't the first sleeper to come through here. Perhaps I should have mentioned that earlier. Rico's tone suddenly drops, changing the atmosphere in the lab immediately. I just thought... She pauses, thinking very carefully of how to continue. I just wanted you to trust us. What do you mean? She sighs. They came through a fair few cycles ago. We found them wandering in the broken section near the gap. The members who brought them in had never seen one of you before. They were terrified of this strange person wandering in from open vacuum. They were quieter than you and damaged. We did our best to patch them up and welcome them to the commune. I only really spoke to them once while I was working on their wounds along with a couple of systems engineers. She looks nervously at you. I had never seen a body like that before. I took some readings, some samples. Samples? You have to understand, I was curious. I didn't know what I was looking at. I just took a little of the damaged material, less than a thumbnail. She shifts her weight to her crutch. The next cycle they were gone. They took a little food and hiked up towards the wild margins where the Greenway meets the waste. Someone saw them in the distance, but that was it. They disappeared in the overgrowth. Well, that's the dead sleeper. She sits down heavily, the vial in her hand. When I saw you, I wanted things to be different. I wanted to keep you here rather than let you disappear into wherever they ended up. She smiles to herself. Yes, I wanted to understand this place better, but I also wanted to help you. It seems that somehow both my wishes have come true at once. She holds out a hand with the vial. This is for you. You take the stabilizer, the glass cold and smooth in your palm. How? Those clubhead caps made it for you, or at least who or whatever made those clubheads. She starts to clear her bench. It was right there, contained in their tissue. I only had to extract it. I imagine you understand how incredible that is. I learned enough from that sleeper to know that your body, your frame, runs on some exotic technology. Exotic technology that has a time limit built in. Somehow the Greenway knows that too. It understands your physiology much better than I ever could. It knows how to treat you. Just like that miraculous antidote that sprung up from the mold, so too has this sprung from your presence here. The Greenway is speaking to you. It is welcoming you. She looks up. I know it sounds crazy, but I know it to be true. Here's the evidence. And what I also know is it is no longer speaking to me. Even after decades here, I have never seen this kind of response. Not since the antidote so many cycles ago. She smiles. So I'm going to make you a deal. You bring me as many clubheads as you like. I'll extract the stabilizer and give it to you freely. But you have to tell me what the Greenway says. You have to speak with it, to dig into it, to find what being is at the center of it. I've traveled as far as I can. I need you to do the rest. Can you do that? Yes. Rico sighs with relief and deflates into her chair. Thank you. I'm sorry for the other sleeper. Truly, I am. I'm sorry I couldn't have done more. But I'm so glad I met you. She smiles. You're welcome here at any time. Rico falls silent. She looks smaller now, more fragile. And you realize how old she must be to have seen the collapse firsthand. You idle a little in the lab in case she asks for anything else, but she remains silent, and so you drift back into the tunnel, thoughts of that other sleeper and where they ended up weighing on your mind. Oh shit. Achievement unlocked. Become self-sufficient through botany. So... the only way to understand what Gardner gave you is to grow it. Rico is incredibly excited by the prospect. There it is, the seed. Alright. I'll take good care of it, sleeper. Rico smiles. Don't you worry. Alright, it's got a timer on it now. The seed is planted and Rico is an attentive mother to it. What future is forming there? So, I can harvest spores, and in the aviary, I can germinate them. And then harvest them. And very slowly over time, synthesize stabilizer. Stabilizer synthesis now only takes 2 clubhead caps. So a little bit of luck is required, but in the meantime I can always use scrap. So I'm like, that's it. Right? I got another drive completed. Yeah. Like we're good now. We're safe and stable here for now anyway. So I want... Is Bliss ready? Okay. Now it's just like helping the rest of my friends. Like, I can get stabilizer if I need it. I can photosynthesize or work and buy food just like everyone else does. Nobody's coming to get me. It's pretty great. I can do this later, climbing Briar. I'm going to do that once I've like finished with everything else pretty much. Okay, so now what I want... How big is this ship? So I'm on like a ring station. I think this is the end of it. And there's nothing else past here. This is like a story expansion. Like when you click on it, it's like you can do this so you can start at the story expansion or whatever. I didn't really start. I'm not like necessarily exploring it like it's a linear RPG or anything. It's more just like this was the section like that I started in because this is the salvaging yards and I was salvaged off of a ship, right? They found me in a container. So like that's why I started on this section of the station. And then the greenway used to be cut off, which is where I am now. So you have to like cross this gap. You had to pay for a fare. But I think that's pretty much it. Like between this section, the like industrial section, the greenway section, and up here, the hub. I think those are all the sections of the station. Now, I don't know if the story expansion... I'm assuming the story expansion is going to perhaps put more stuff down here, more sections, or maybe it's going to have more further out this way because it has to do with a refugee flotilla. So that looks kind of like a ship. So there could be like a flotilla out here where I cross into another section and have more activities to do. But I don't want to start that story expansion yet till I'm done most of the stuff here. So I need Matsutake for Emphis still. And I want to help Lem. I'm going to try to get some spores. A 6 is kind of wasted there, but I'm going to do it. 2 grove spores. Still need 3 spores to start growing stuff. I guess I can just sleep here. Doesn't really matter where I sleep. Repair myself. End cycle. Oh. Hey, quiet voice greets you as you leave. Sleeper, it's me. Who? Moritz, he pauses. I work for Bliss? He rubs the back of his head. You're not an easy person to find. I move around. Moritz holds up his hands. Hey, no judgment, it's cool. You both stand there for a moment, each waiting for the other to speak. What's up? Ah, yeah. Well, Bliss needs you. A job just came in, a real big one. She's asking for you to come up and help her out. He nods sagely. Okay, soon. Soon, he repeats it back to himself. Look, Bliss said I've got to get you right now, so, he shrugs. Now is better than soon. Morris stands there for a little while, unsure if the message is delivered. I've got it. Cool. He looks around. Bliss just likes me to do a thorough job, He rubs his hands together before burying them in his jacket pockets. See you, Sleeper. Moritz ambles off down the corridor, kicking at a filter cap on his way out. Time to head to Bliss's Bay, then. Alright, she said it's urgent. But you know what's more urgent? I have to feed my kitty. How's there still gravity? No, I think it's still rotating. Like, it's implied there's still gravity here, and there's just... it's centripetal force, right? So you have gravity on the outside of the station because it's spinning. You can see the stars moving. And there's no gravity in the hub because it's at the center. So it rotates in place, but it's not enough. There's not enough centripetal force on the outside to give them gravity. So where all the spacers hang out, there's no gravity. Uh-oh. Ember's Wake, malfunctioning fuel tanker. What's going on here? This is what this, yeah, so this was the important thing, I guess. Somehow Bliss swung a tanker contract, but the catch is that the work needs to be turned around fast. Too fast. So there's full system flush. Bliss has an idea. A full system flush with tracer fluid to reveal the leaks, which means an emergency venting of all tanks. Brilliant. Dangerous. Or tank recladding. Typically, the way to fix this kind of leak is to painstakingly inspect and reseal the entire ship's cladding, but is there time? And then sealing the leaks. The tanker's crew have detected a set of leaks, and they need to isolate and seal them as soon as possible. That's where you come in. Alright, well, the engineering one is great, because I can spend a bunch of dice on this one. So we have 3 days to do this. So, I mean, I'm not going to fuck around here. Oh. Okay, never mind. You can, oh, that was a critical action. Okay. You carefully trigger the emergency sequence and the tracer fluid does its job. All the leaks are revealed. Now you just need to seal them. Okay, so that was a one-time action that did half of the progress. And now, well, let's not fuck around, I guess. This is an emergency, right? We're gonna re-roll. Got a 5. Done in 1 day. Boom. 1 day, baby. As you both wait in the airlock for it to cycle back to the bay, Bliss thumps you on the arm. Nicely done, Sleeper. We cleared that contract, no problem. She stretches. Once we're back in the bay, we can check if the payment has come through and divide it up. She stretches. Feels good. The airlock clunks and the lights flicker, and a moment later you're back in the bay, where Morris is at the racks, trying to figure out where the mess of tools Bliss left in her wake should be hung. Hey, Morris. Morris looks over his shoulder. Sleeper? He spins a wrench in his hand. Look like clean work out there. He nods respectfully. You look over at Bliss, who is already gliding over to her management console. She twirls a little as she crosses the cavernous bay. No one you've ever met moves as well in zero-G as she does. It's like she was born into it. Shit. Bliss slams a fist onto the console. Shit, shit, shit. What's up? I can't even... Bliss closes her eyes. Come here. Bliss calls you over. Look at this. Just look. She spins the terminal screen and you see the details for the bay's account. You see an entry for the Ember's Wake, a repair fee paid in full the moment you finished up the job, but then directly after, the whole amount was transferred back out into an unknown account. What the hell? This is the work of my ex. She punches the terminal. He must have coded a backdoor into the machine before he left. She rubs her forehead. There's no way we can... She pauses, thinking. Moritz, throw me that wrench. You gonna fix it? Moritz spins the wrench across the bay. Bliss smiles. Something like that. Bliss brings the wrench down on the terminal hard. You flinch backwards as a hail of computer parts spill up into the bay in a glittering arc. Fragments of screen, memories, sections of the casing. When Bliss is done, she clips the wrench back into her tool belt. Try backdooring your way into that, you shit. Morris drifts out from his hiding place among the racks. Bliss, he says tentatively, you want me to... He looks at the arc of fragments drifting around the bay nervously. Bliss shakes her head. No, she sighs. I've got it. You go get me a new terminal, cheap as you can find. Cobble one together from pieces at the Ord Exchange if you have to. Can I help? Bliss glides over to a panel by the wall. Don't worry, one of the first things I had installed when we spec'd out this place was a cleaning sweep. She flicks over a plastic cover on a huge red button. Watch yourself. She hammers the button and a row of laser emitters unfold from the bay wall. They start crawling their way across the work area, frying the debris. As they do, in pulses of burning light, Bliss smiles. It's that or just space the whole bay every few cycles. You okay? Not really. She stares at the sweep panel. Just don't seem to be able to extricate myself from this shit, no matter how hard I try. Cleaning sweep buzzes and crackles as it works its way across the bay. That account wasn't everything. I'm not that stupid. Once Moritz gets back, I'll secure it and flush everything else. She flicks a nearby piece of debris into the path of the sweep. Clean break. Then we take another contract. That's it. She shuts off the sweep as it reaches the near end of the bay. You don't want the cryo back? Oh, I want it, but it's gone. He could have transferred it anywhere. She looks out across the hub. And even if I knew where he was, the last thing I want is to ever see him again. She rubs her forehead. I'm sorry, Sleeper. I know you worked for this too, but next time won't be the same. That's okay. She smiles. See you in a few cycles. Morris will let you know. She winks and kicks off into the bay to finish cleaning up. Boof. That sucks. Who's that asshole? Who is that asshole? I'm going to buy a spacer meal just to see if this does anything differently from the other meals. Oh! It's true, right? Because I lost 100 cryo, and I spent 3 good dice on that, and it's like gone. Oh well. Live and learn. Spacer food is a slurry of modified compounds and vitamins laced with a dose of algae. It's effective nutrition, but little else. Alright, so that didn't really do anything different. It was just expensive. Alright, I have a 5. I want to spend on gathering scrap. And then I only have a 1. So when do the salvagers get here? Oh, they're here. Buy. Buy. I want to buy all this stuff. That's good. I enjoy spending my money on this stuff. I have 2 of 3 ship mine fragments. Oh! And I can buy another ship mine fragment. I can't haggle yet because I don't have +1 engage. I'm just going to spend the 60 on this. Okay. And then I can fabricate these 3 into a ship mine and then sell the ship mine on the market for 150. Alright. Came out on top, but I also have more scrap, which is really what I was going for there. And I have a 1. I'm just going to spend that on hacking because there's nothing else you can really do with a 1. The 1 is like a 50-50 neutral or fail, I think. Actually, it might be worse than that. We'll sell the Edigan data to Havenage. For more cryo. Give me all that sweet cryo. I have 229 cryo now. Repair my condition. End the cycle. Feed the stray. I'm gonna feed that stray every day. All right. I'm going to do a babysitting shift for Lem. I'm gonna just drop a 6 right in there. Engage is one of the few things I don't have any bonuses in, so we also get to eat, so that bumps up my energy for the day. All right. Mushroom-related activities, perhaps? I think I just have to wait for Bliss now. Yeah, 3 more days waiting for Bliss. There's nothing to do there but eat. And we're waiting for that gardener's seed to germinate and see what the heck's going on. What it grows into, or if it maybe opens up a node, because I pulled that seed from the network. So I'm wondering if planting it is going to have an effect in the network. I don't know. There's some kind of weird cross communication between the cloud and the physical station, which is really interesting. All right. I need one more set of spores. Put a 3 in there. Got 2 spores. I'll take it. Now I let those grow. Is there anything to do, anything to tick up here? Doesn't look like it. I can put in some work to grab more scrap. More scrap is always good. That's just work for cryo. I'm not interested in stealing from the farmers. I don't need to steal from the farmers. It's totally pointless. Nothing going on with Castor. Maybe I should put in some work on, like, building this colony ship. They'll pay me, right? Turn these 3s into 50/50s because I have a +2 in engineering. And engineering has a chance of giving me scrap engineering actions, so it seems like a good place to spend them. They didn't that time, but... Alright. Spend some scrap. Feed the cat. End the cycle. Getting into a rhythm here. Oh, hold on. Put in a shift babysitting. Got a 6 I can drop in there, and that should get Lem time in the shipyard. And I get to eat. She's asleep, whispers Lem, creeping back out of the unit's tiny bedroom, sliding the door shut as he does. You're perched at a thin bar in the main room. The slate in front of you still glowing with Mina and your drawings from a cycle spent together. There's a ring, the only world Mina has known, with stick figures standing along its edge. The tall one is you. Drink? Asks Lem, producing a worn-looking bottle of Girol from under the bar, its contents glowing amber in the fluorescent light. No thanks. Let me pour it at least. If you don't want it, I'll drink it later. He laughs and glugs a few fingers into a couple of metal tumblers, then sits down with you at the bar. Cheers, he offers, and you clink the metal containers together. You know, we actually have something to celebrate this time around. Lem gives you a sideways look. I made the assembly team on the side rail. He grins broadly. Clearly, he has been desperate to tell you all cycle. Amazing. Lem holds up his drink. Couldn't have done it without you keeping an eye on little meanie back here. Lem shifts a little on his stool. He looks uncomfortable. How's our girl doing, Sleeper? I haven't seen much of her these past cycles. She misses her father. Lem looks away. Yeah, he says to no one in particular. The silence stretches out as Lem takes a drink, his eyes fixed on the bedroom door. You okay? He nods. I can't take all the credit for Mina. She isn't actually mine. He gazes into the middle distance. I pulled her off of a refugee shuttle out by one of Ember's moons. The colony was falling apart for decades after Solheim collapsed, surviving on next to nothing. Eventually, some of the residents tried to make for the eye on these decrepit old shuttles. He sloshes the drink around in his tumbler. They had no idea what they were doing. The one Mina was on decompressed halfway here, everyone spaced. The only reason she made it was someone sealed her in a weapon locker. She was ice cold when I reached her, purple lips. He shivers. Once I picked her up, I wouldn't let go. Medics treated her with me still clinging to her. He takes a drink, still not sure why. He reaches over and refills his cup. We weren't exactly anybody's heroes, you understand? We were private military, hired in by Conway to protect their claims in the collapse. But once I got Mina, that was it. I quit. Got us dumped here. You saved her. I'm going to sound like an idiot now, but he sighs. She saved me. That's the truth of it. He looks around the decaying unit, its stained plastic plating and flickering lights. Me, I brought her to this. She was tiny, too small to know what she lost, but I can't stop thinking about it. He rubs his eyes, dark with tiredness. What if our number doesn't come up in the draw, Sleeper? What then? The sidereal will sail off without a thought, leaving us here. What kind of life is that for her? You'll make it. Sorry, I know you don't have it any better. He looks at his cup and pushes it away down the bar. This is a celebration, right? Both of us on the team now, both of us with a chance. Together. That's right. We hold on together. Imagine all three of us riding the sidereal horizon out of here to a new world. He looks into his glass for a moment. I think I drank this too fast, he laughs. Lem stands and starts to clear the glasses into the auto-wash. I need some sleep, friend. See you around. All right, then. He catches your shoulder as you turn to leave. Thank you, Sleeper. I mean it, from both of us. He pats your shoulder, and you slip out into the dark of the walkway with thoughts of little Mina in your mind. There. I got an achievement. Good robot. Help a friend and have fun with Bun Bun. Good. I don't really care about that. Escaping on the colony ship? I guess going and living on a planet would be nice, but the station's like keeping me alive right now. I have 2 points and I could put a +1 in engage. I could put a +1. Oh, I have a +2 in Intuit. I feel like I should. Then I have a +1 in everything. I'm just getting better. I'm just becoming better. You know what? I'm going to do it. So I have a chance to gain energy after any engage action now. Alright. And now I can haggle. This is a critical action. You and the merchants know these fragments are overpriced, but are they willing to admit it? You'll get one chance to see. You are firm but friendly, and eventually the merchants relent. They'll lower the price, but only for you. Okay, so now I can buy them for 40, and I'm going to buy their last one. Thanks. Alright. So now, even if I bought all three and don't find any buying scrap, if I buy all three, that's 120, and it sells for 150. So I make profit off of that now. Alright. Okay, over to the Greenway. It's kind of waiting on stuff right now. I suppose I could look for more spores. I should probably wait. I'll find more scrap though. There's a 5 here. Guaranteed a safe scrap with no consequence. And I have a 6 and a 2. Makes more sense to just gamble. I have +2 to gambling here. I should put work on more work toward the ship. That could give me scrap. It did not, but it does pay me a little bit. Reroll this. Another 6. That's a good reroll. Ooh, I should put him in work at the bar. This is progress I haven't finished yet. Okay. Alright. Repair my body. Feed the stray. End the cycle. Leave. Alright, don't need to do babysitting for Lem. Pretty good dice. 2 6s, 2 4s, and a 3. They're gone. Okay, let's go check the greenway. Actually, let's go see what's going on up here. I'm assuming someone will come get me. Yeah, okay, that's tomorrow. All right. Get our daily scrap. Working in the stacks will feed me, but I can afford to just pay for my food. I don't really need to use a dye on it. I can also photosynthesize if I need to. Yeah, like I feel like I'm getting really close to the end of the game now because like I'm very self-sufficient with a lot of the perks and the bonuses that I have. Put in more work at the bar. See what happens when we do this. Put a 4 in here as well. Alright. Okay. So Tala, the owner of the Overlook, wants to talk to us. We have an ad that's going to come up in a minute though, so I'm going to wait and I will do that when we're done. I am going to... Got a 3 and a 4. I'm going to spend the 4 gambling for some creds. Actually, no. I'm going to spend the 4 on the ship, which will also give me credits, just not as much. Might give me scrap. Nope, no scrap. And then I have a 3, which I can hack with if I need to. Actually, let's do another engineering action with that 3. Goes up to a 5. All right, neutral. That's all right for a 3. Okay. So yeah, we got an ad starting in like a minute. So I'm gonna go take a few minute break here, and then we'll come back and we'll talk to Tala and see what that progressed. All right, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Thanks for waiting. What's that shriek? What's the shriek for? Do Canadians also get ads in multiple languages, or is the AdSense more intelligent than here? Only serve the correct ads for my region. You get tons of French ads in in Flanders? No. So, I don't get ads in French. I just get ads in English. There are some like digital cable stations that I have that will occasionally serve French ads, but I'm not fluent in French, so it's like I understand like a third of what they say, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know why they do that. Sometimes it's weird, and then they'll show the same commercial later on, but in English. I think like some things get confused with the regions, but yeah, on Twitch I never get French ads on Twitch, so yeah, they give me they do their geolocation pretty good. I think they only give you, I would imagine in Canada there's only 2 provinces that would get their ads served to them in French. Even then, I wouldn't be surprised actually if Twitch uses your regional settings to serve you ads in the language that like your default setting is. Like what's your system's regional language set to? Do you have it set to English? Is it just like English US, or is it like English UK, or what? I'm wondering, yeah, like how much of it must be regional, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. It must be regional. Because there's Quebec is the only province in Canada that like predominantly speaks French. There are some regions of like northern Ontario, like close to the border, that will speak French. And New Brunswick on the East Coast. A bunch of like smaller towns and villages in New Brunswick mostly speak French. Yeah, so if you geolocate to Brussels, that's probably what's going on. If that's a bilingual city, like I'm sure if I was in Montreal, which is like a very bilingual city, it's in Quebec, but there's a lot of, you can, like I've been to Montreal several times, you can just go through Montreal knowing no French. So that region might give you, we have to ask Bad Seed, because Bad Seed lives in Quebec. And he has, he lives in like a bilingual city. He's on the French part of like Ottawa, basically, which is Canada's capital. So he might know. He might be able to answer that question. Something I've never asked him. All right, we're gonna speak with Tala. The Girol slides from the bottle into the lumpy, recycled glass, a pale, grassy yellow under the overlook's warm lights. The spacer nods and takes a drink, bringing it up to their face in both hands like an offering bowl. This is the good stuff. The stuff Tala says is aged in wooden casks, stored in some closed-off part of the old station among corroded wires and softly looping systems. Though sometimes it's hard to tell if Tala's joking. Either way, you like pouring this stuff. It gets on your fingers, and if you rub them together, you can smell the mossy drink cut through with aniseed, mushrooms, wood, as the alcohol evaporates. You like those who order it too. The aged Girol is kept beneath the bar, open to order only by those who know it's there, like the quiet spacer sitting at the bar right now. Watch the spacer. They are far enough away that you can freely watch them as you close the bottle and tuck it beneath the bar. You call them a spacer because they bear the hallmarks. Pale, vac-suited, bird-boned, and hunched beneath the weight of the station's spin gravity. That's funny. That's the first time I think they actually mentioned gravity on the station. It's funny you just were talking about that, Smork. But the closer you look, the less you see a type. Pale eyes, almost gray, but kind. Delicate fingers that lightly drum the bar as if it was an instrument. A shock of black hair almost covering a forehead scar. Scars are something you've learned to value. They are what marks out your body from the hundreds, maybe thousands, who knows, of similar models that rolled out of SNARP's biolabs. You find yourself rubbing one on your forearm, a rough little split, something that on the good days you might think of as a mark of defiance. Suddenly you hear a heavy clunking at the door. It creaks open and a huge cylindrical metal tank tumbles through, slamming into the floor. Shit! Tala breezes in from behind it, a whirl of hair and bright eyes. Shit, shit, shit. Tala? Sleeper! She ducks behind the bar and comes over. Can you help me with this? You look at the huge metal tank suspiciously. How did you get that up here? Tala puts a hand on her hip. Are you going to help me or what? You come around the bar and get to one side of the tank. Okay, says Tala. On my count. 1, 2, 3. You both heave the tank up to standing, somehow. You hold it in place, struggling to keep it steady. Where's this going? In the back, comes a voice from behind the tank. Somehow you manage to lug the huge thing into the back room, where you place it in one corner, dwarfing the rest of the contents in the cramped space. As you do, you hear a crunch. You stand back and look at the expired rations oozing out from under the tank. Oh shit, Tala looks at you apologetically. I know you like those. That's okay. You put the crushed rations to one side. That's the end of that. Tala looks exhausted and rubs her shoulders. Francis, I swear to... Francis? Francis. I mentioned him already. My guy in the door deals with suppliers. Tall. She sighs. He was supposed to be back from Etienne's up on the Greenway by now. Back with our Girol, she leans against the tank. It seems like he's got lost again, or joined the Haifa commune. We need that Girol. There's 4 other bars near here, and the spaces sure as hell don't come to the Overlook for the ambience. She looks through the open door to check if anyone can hear her. She knocks on the hollow tank. So I'm taking matters into my own hands, she smiles. Welcome, Sleeper, to the Overlook Distillery. You look around the dank back room. Needs some work. She picks at some paint flaking from the metal walls. Well, I might need some help, though, she shrugs. You up for it? She knocks on the tank again. Could be fun. Happy to help. Okay. She grabs you by the shoulders. I'm excited. She turns around and looks at the tank. I reckon we chop this thing in half. One half for fermentation, the other we turn into a still. We also need to gather the ingredients. She turns back and looks at you. You look more like a chopper than a gatherer, she smiles. So how about you build the still and tub while I work on the rest? Oh wait, Sleeper, I have an idea. Tala's grinning now and it is making you nervous. To make up for the rations, how about we put a kitchen in here too? Will it fit? We'll make it work. She turns back to the tank. This is going to be great, she says to herself. You look at the dented tank in the bare room. At least she has a vision. Tala nudges you out the back room and closes the door. As you go back to the bar, you hear the banging and thumping again. The spacer finishes up their drink and nods in your direction as they leave. You can't quite tell if it's a gesture of sympathy or good luck. So much for a quiet shift. Oh, a new drive. So the bar shifts are still there. Build the still. You'll need to cut Tala's tank down, turn it into a still and fermentation tub, as well as setting up the room for distilling. It's a big job, but it's engineering, and I am an engineer. Overlook Distillery. You aren't sure Tala knows what she's doing, but she is a hard person to say no to, so it looks like you're building this thing. Alright. I don't have any more dice, though. So that will be tomorrow, but Bliss's thing is done tomorrow, too, so there's no time pressure for that. We'll see what happens with Bliss. Alright. Scrap for maintenance. Oh, I have like 300 cryo, geez. Feed the stray. And end the cycle. Alright. Oh, here we go. Sleeper, Morris is waiting for you on your way out. How have you been? Busy. I see, he nods. Well, I'll get right to it then. Bliss sent me down. We've scored another contract and she needs your help. That's the message. He pauses. Look, I know last time the payment didn't come through, but you did good work. Bliss knows that. It's no problem. Okay then. He pauses again. She's doing her best, you know? I know. He nods. See you up there. Morris turns and strides off, leaving you in the corridor. Time to help Bliss, and maybe this time you think to yourself, it'll work out. Alright, what do we got? 5 3s. Well, depending on what we're doing, the 3s might be okay. We do have a new drive. Improve the Overlook. Tala wants to build a distillery in the back room of the Overlook, and Tala is someone it is hard to say no to. Alright. Sycamore Seed. Haifa Farm Freighter. It's like a greeny freighter thing here. Oh my god. This is a critical action. Wow, what is going on here? Okay. Vent a section and you have a better chance of saving the remaining crops, but you'll lose some in the process. The question is, how many? Reinforced bulkheads. Welding a zero-G farm is tricky. The torch, the heat, the sealant, everything can damage the crop you're trying to save. The sycamore seed needs to be reinforced and sealed, otherwise the crop will be lost. The sycamore seed's internal biome is in trouble. Every action will bring it closer to collapse. Okay. I can turn a bunch of these into 5s. These are safe actions. This is a dangerous action. I'm assuming this happens on a failure. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I can just get away with just doing this. Is there a timer here? I don't see a timer. Okay, let's put a 5 in here and see what that does. Okay. Every action increases the fragile biome counter by 1. This will increase it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But we'll put it up by 5. I don't really think that that's necessary. I'm going to re-roll these 3s. Ew. That was a fucking mistake. 3 1s. Dude, come on. Come on. Ugh. I'm going to use a 1 to sunbathe. Garbage. Use the other 2 ones as hacking actions, I guess, for Yadigan. Get some agents. At least I can turn them into cryo. Alright, and then I'll sell all that data to Havenage. For more cryo. Give me the cryo. Making a lot of cryo now. Alright, and then let's go see what's going on in the Greenway. Probably nothing yet. There were some longer timers over here. 2 days on this. 1, 2, 3 days on that. Alright, that's it. That's that day. That was the shortest day ever. Scrap. I've been keeping myself in stable condition for a while now, just with scrap. Feed the stray. The cycle. Those dice aren't super great either. Are they... No, I already... Yeah, they're done tomorrow. I don't know why they're still here, honestly. It feels like they should leave. Whatever. That's your problem. Or it's my problem, because it was an easy way to get scrap. Okay, let's go up here. Spend more work on this. Ship for Bliss. That's a neutral income. Another neutral. Let's re-roll these. A 4 and a 2 is better than a 3 and a 1. Okay. We'll go back down and we will sunbathe with that 1. Or 2, I mean. Okay. Repair. I'm almost out of scrap. Feed the cat. I'm hoping that feeding the cat will do something. It's gotta do something, right? Other than just bleed me of 4 cryo every time. I have to feed the kitty. I'm compelled. Alright, yeah, okay, they're gone now. That ship is gone, the scrappers. I don't know what's going on there. Okay. I don't need to get scrapped today yet. I've got one more. Just keep working on this, I guess. That 4 will become a 6. That might actually do it. Yeah. You and Bliss are floating in the bay's airlock waiting for it to cycle. Pick a few leaves from your clothes as you wait. They float around the chamber as if carried by a lazy wind. Stay silent. The now familiar sequence of clunks and rattles sound out, and then the door hisses open. The moment it does, you know something has once again gone wrong. What's all this? Bliss asks a confused-looking Morris. Beside him are a set of crates anchored to the bay floor. He has clearly just brought them in through the bay's freight lock. Moritz looks nervously between the two of you before answering. It's payment. He runs a hand along the crate. The Sycamore Seed crew just brought them over. He stops, but seeing the look on Bliss's face, adds, They were very thankful. I bet they were. She clenches her fist. What the hell is inside? Moritz leans over and struggles with the catches on each side of the top crate. As he does, Bliss turns to you. Don't say it. Bliss stares into space. Don't you dare say it. Say what? You know. She looks back at you. This isn't my fault. Moritz finally gets the catches free and the lid floats off, drifting up into the bay. As it does, a small brown lump floats up with it. Moritz reaches out and catches it as it passes him. Is that a mushroom? Bliss finishes. A damn mushroom. They paid us in mushrooms? Not just mushrooms. He holds out a clump of tightly packed leaves. Produce. Bliss starts laughing. Goddamn Haifa commune. Should have known they didn't have a chit to rub between them. She knocks a small brown mushroom across the bay. Stop, Bliss. Morris grabs her hand. These are good, fresh. We can sell them. To who, Moritz? We are running a grocer's now? We need cryo, otherwise this whole bay will be shut down. We can't pay for parts with leafy greens. She waggles them in Morris's face. Moritz is right. Bliss raises an eyebrow. Fine. Maybe Moritz is right, but what do we do between now and market day? She rubs her forehead. What a joke this place is turning out to be. Moritz closes up the crates and starts moving them. It isn't that bad, Bliss. It's a step in the right direction. He glances at you, looking for backup. They'll sell well. Bliss sighs. Looks like I went into business with a couple of wannabe farmers, she laughs. Prove me wrong, then. Show me this is a windfall. She kicks away towards the new patched-together terminal. Until then, I'll be working on how to keep this place open. Morris mouths a thank you and goes back to moving the crates. You'd better be on your way, too. It's true, though. Alright, we gotta wait 4 more days for Bliss's next job, I guess. I have, like, an actual job. Actually, I have 2 actual jobs on the ship. I have 2 full-time jobs, I guess. Sealing this ship. And then doing these engine repairs. I guess that's like an owner-operator thing, the ship repair stuff. Okay. I got paid in Gerol caps. Can I actually export those? No. They're just Gerol caps. What do I even use them for? He wants Matsutake. I wonder if the Matsutake I give him is going to do something weird. Because it's like the Matsutake I'm growing in the aviary. It's like a weird special type. Okay, time to harvest some mushrooms. Alright. Yeah, I can do scrap tomorrow. I have 3 Matsutake. Reroll these. I'll take a 3 in here. More Matsutake. And now I have a 1. This is going to be done tomorrow. I don't know what to do with Gerol caps, though. Maybe that's something that I have to finish this Emphas drive in order to do. Yeah, I can't sell them here. I can only sell Matsutake. No. Okay, well, he wants Matsutake. There you go. Emphas inhales the deep autumnal aroma of the Matsutake caps and nods. He seems impressed. Okay. So this is now 3 days. Emphas says he needs some time to ready the broth. Apparently there are some ingredients he still needs to source. So in 3 days, I'm going to have a nice Matsutake meal. I guess I'll use the one to sunbathe. I have a lot of items now. Jesus. 2 energy. Self-repair. It's my last scrap. I feel like quite... like... normal. Like I'm living a life now. It's actually pretty interesting difference from like the, oh my god, my body is crumbling apart and I have like a death sentence and I'm racing a clock and there's all these people after me, that it's just like, I'm like, I have kind of a home and I'm helping like a bunch of friends do things and I'm like learning stuff about myself and others. It's like self-discovery, moving from desperation to like self-discovery. Okay. So that seed I think is done germinating now. Yeah, here we go. Riko has something in her hands when you enter the lab. It looks like a knotted twist of woody stems. A ring about the circumference of a human head, consisting of a single stalk at one side and a branched woven network at the other. As you approach, she holds it up, and in the light of the lab it looks like a crown. Riko finishes your thought. She smiles and shakes her head in disbelief. Is that what grew? It is. Came to the plant this morning and this loop was all that was there. She points to a lump on the edge of the ring. The seed grew right back into itself, twisted up out of the soil. That being you encountered, in the cloud as you call it, was it wearing one of these? She eyes you suspiciously, still unsure if she is somehow embroiled in an overlong prank. No. She sighs. I suppose that would be too easy. She smiles to herself. A root crown. She places the object on the bench and shuffles to her analysis terminal, her face lit by its amber light in the dim corner of the lab. Well, it isn't exactly a plant, anyway, not from what I can tell. She gives you a serious look. No leaves, no chloroplast, just a series of filaments encased in cellulose walls. Filaments? See, that's why I like you, Sleeper. You're so good at spotting the unusual details. She beckons you over. Look at this. You see a cross-section scan of the crown, its layers of plant-like structure on full view until you reach the center. There, instead of xylem and phloem for transporting nutrients, something branched and woven glints. Are those wires? She laughs. I'm not sure whether to say yes or no here. These are not like wires, like those in an electrical system, no, but they are filaments of a conductive material, so yes? She leans closer to the screen. But you see those branches? They remind me of dendrites, of neurons. She rubs her eyes, which is frankly ridiculous. You look back at the crown on the table as Riko fusses over the scans, and you suddenly realize what it reminds you of. You remember signing the forms, the walk to the sleeper tanks, the cold metal floor. Then you remember the crown they fitted you with. The branching structure of wires and pads? No, not a crown. They called it an interface. The tool of your emulation, your transference from neurons to electrons, an interface. That is your gift from Gardner. You turn back to Riko. It's an interface. She looks at you, puzzled. Something clicks in her mind. Perhaps something she heard from the sleeper she had helped all those cycles ago. She starts talking, partly to you, partly to herself. If the club heads were made for you, then this too could be made for you, for your frame. She shuffles over quickly to the interface, a word that is stuck to the strange branched object quickly in your mind. You are right, that entity. It is the entity I've been looking for. She shuffles quickly to the crown. They are the entity which is controlling the Greenway, which has been maintaining it, supporting it, and has been guiding it for all these decades. She stops to catch her breath. They want to talk to you. Rico leads you to a seat. I'll be here, Sleeper. If something happens, if you wish me to remove the crown, the interface, just squeeze. She grips your hand tightly. You meet her eyes, clouded with age, but bright with the thrill of new discoveries. Then she places the interface on your head, and everything blinks out. Back into the river, back into the dark flow, but something is different now. You are no longer pushed, no longer blocked and buffeted by the storm. Instead, it flows around you. You move, and it parts, letting you pass. Something else resists, but it gives easily enough. You look back and see your body. You have left it behind. Somewhere, Rico's voice is talking to you, asking you questions. It is excited, eager, desperate to know what lies on the other side, what the entity has to say. What the entity has to say to you. You realize how long she has waited for this moment, for the moment of meeting between the inhabitants of the Greenway and its protector, yet she is still on the outside. You shake off the sadness. You will be her eyes. Then you see the figure, Gardner, out in the storm, planting. It takes less than a moment to reach them. You have never felt so free. This is how Navigator must have felt, released from their prison. This, you think, is what it feels like to be in the place you were built to inhabit. Gardner does not turn at your approach. They go on planting, but their voice whispers in the waters like a sharply rising current. You grew the gift, their speech hisses around you. Good. I am glad. I wanted to meet you. Then we are the same, both eager shoots seeking one another. How does it feel to be free of your seed? They stoop to plant again. Good. That is good. They press a seed into the loamy depths. There was some disagreement, continues Gardner, as if you were picking up on a long-held conversation with the others. They felt you were a danger, but they are always cautious, especially the fungi. They like old loam, known knowns, wide and stable networks. The fungi were cautious? Mostly yes, although there are many among their number who favor short growth cycles, thick nutrient veins, and sudden shifts. He gestures out into the storm, and though you cannot see them, you feel presences all around, sensing this audience with great interest. After all, they understood that it was I who made them their crowns, and without them they would not have joined the chorus. So, they see that it is only fair that you get your chance to join too. Join? Yes, become part of this. Gardner stoops again. We are millions, and we grow. I hope you understand. I am unused to speaking to your kind. It has been many cycles since my last conversation. I think it was with Chief Executive Trellick himself. You look around and you see it. Every growing thing, every non-human being in the Greenway is here. They are networked, connected, branched and linked by this strange being, this artifact of the old station. The impossible dream of a senile farm administration AI. A living network. You could dissolve here, you realize, free of that decaying body. You wouldn't need to be a person. Why would you, among all these other minds? You turn away from Gardner for a moment and look back at your body. Tiny hairline thread connects it to you. You hear Rico's voice again, still asking, still checking in. Are you okay, Sleeper? What are they saying, Sleeper? Are you still there, Sleeper? Something in you sighs a long sigh. A sigh that speaks of an exhaustion beyond tiredness. An exhaustion rooted deep inside you. It stems from the effort of answering questions, of answering problems, of getting up and breathing each cycle. But something else resists the sigh, a yearning, a sense of distance, a desire to squeeze that hand that holds you for its warmth, its blood, its complexity. To make a gesture that says, I'm still here, I'm still alive, I'm with you. The two ideas spin within you, making you nauseous. If you break that thread, you will be free. Free to dissolve here, to grow strange and beautiful among a million others. If you follow it, if you squeeze Rico's hand, you will wake up back in that dying body with all the pain and warmth that entails. Now is the moment to choose. Oh damn, Free Frag would have really liked that. He would be like, break the thread, become an AI. But I have people and friends that are still depending on me. So I am going to follow the thread. Your eyes track the thread across the whirling dark back to your body. This choice, you realize, will not be presented again. Oh, man. Nope, I have to follow it. You don't look back at Gardner. You don't dare risk it. Instead, you follow the thread delicately, carefully, like a diver following their lifeline back to the surface. The river whirls around you, but it doesn't pull. It isn't jealous. Neither does it understand. It is, after all, just a river. It isn't a person, a flesh and blood person with wants, with desires, with a capacity for love and hate. It doesn't understand you, and you don't understand it. So you don't focus on it. You don't think about it, on what feels like such a long journey back through the dark. You set your mind on eyes instead, on hands, things you can focus on, hold on to. And then after an age of crossing, you are there, settling back into the chair, into a body in a chair, and the overwhelming sensations that come with being a living thing with a rich and detailed sensorium. For a moment you feel like you've made a terrible mistake. Who would choose this weight, this anxiety, this deep well at the center of existence? But then you feel it. Rico's hand gripped hard around yours, trembling a little, sweating a little. Rico's hand with its brittle bones and crumpled skin, Rico's hand. And in that moment you understand why you made this choice. And then you squeeze Rico's hand, and you wake up. Wow. Oh! That's not what I expected. That was the choice. Credits are rolling. Wow. That is not what I expected.
Jolly good show, Major.
Whoops. I don't know why that happened. Trying to fix this green screen thing. There we go. Wow. I wasn't expecting that to be the end. I guess that's the big choice, right? That was the big choice. Do you stay? Do you stay in your body and keep living? It was kind of sudden. I kind of felt like going the other way and becoming an AI would have been the end. Maybe I can go back? Can I go back and figure out what's going on with the rest of the stuff? I had other things I wanted to finish. They both led to the end, yeah. Oh no, I'm back. So that's the I guess that's the credits, because that's like the main choice of the story. Thinking about it from a non-completionist side, right? That's the credits, because it's like you made your choice to stay. I guess like Rico's thing. It's hard to say, right? Maybe there were other places where credits roll as well, right? Like getting on the colony ship. So do I do the derelict now? I probably could do the refugee flotilla. It feels like the right spot. Like, if I'm rolling credits, I have to be in the late game. Like, that you wouldn't be late game without credits rolling. So I could probably move on to that now with my skills the way that they are. I'm gonna probably take a run at it, but I'm gonna get caught up on some other stuff here first. So, okay. Sleeper, Rieker's voice comes wavering through the dark. Are you still with me? You sit up, the lab of bright green glare that fades as you gather yourself. I'm here. Rico smiles. Good. She squeezes your hand. I thought you'd left me for a moment. What? She pauses. Who? She smiles. Tell me about it. Tell me everything. Tell her the truth. You tell Rico everything. You tell her about the gardener, the strange farm administrator AI that has grown to be so much more. About the chorus, that impossible configuration of network plants, and finally about the choice the gardener offered you. She listens attentively, but her responses are hard to read. And you wonder if she might have made a different decision had she been in your place. Thank you, Sleeper, for telling me. I know it isn't easy to say such things. People so often do not wish to hear strange truths. She looks away. And thank you for returning to me, though I know you had your own reasons. She squeezes your hand reassuringly. Something passes between you then, a kind of shared sadness for the impossible choice. The choice to escape your body or to stay and suffer it. Her smile is warm and generous, and whatever the wisdom of your choice, you are glad to feel welcome in this moment, in this place. Then suddenly, she stands and walks a little away, as if trying to escape an unpleasant thought. You worry that she knows all too well what it takes to make a choice like you did. Rico sighs. So, Sleeper, do you plan to stay in the commune with us? For a while. I'm glad to hear it. Rico crosses back over to you and takes one of your hands in both of hers. Haifa needs new blood if it wants to survive, and, she squeezes, you are a good friend. The feeling is mutual. Well, don't let me keep you. Rico waves you away and limps back to her terminal. As she does, you notice the crown in her hand, and she places it on the bench with great care. You can't help but feel a little curious about what she intends to do with it. Then you are out, breathing the air of the greenway, fresh as a spring morning. Dappled light makes a patchwork of the greening landscape as you walk into it, sensing the movements of the gardener's chorus all around. And you are glad to be here, in this strange and beautiful place, a little longer. Alright. Okay. So, we could start that. I've got a couple of the things to do first, I think. I have to get some scrap to maintain my deteriorating frame. I know how that feels in real life. Except that scrap is called going to work. Alright. We've got days on that still. Yeah, like I have friends and people that need me and would miss me if I were gone, right? So, in real life, I would have a hard time making that decision too. Do you want to be an AI? I would love to experience that at some point, but I'm not going to that would be like at the end of my life, right? When the choice is being forced on me. Hey, you're about to die of old age or some terminal illness or something. Do you want to just do that? Or do you want to go into a cloud or something? I don't know. I don't know, actually. Gets me feeling kind of spiritual. Okay. The bar needs some work. Let's put some work in here. This is kind of my jam, doing engineering work. Also, I want this kitty to be my friend. Why is this kitty taking so long to be my friend? Do some photosynthesis. Not great photosynthesis. And feed this kitty. Why won't you love me? Ah! Love me, damn it. I just want your love. Yuck. Oh, I wonder what the cloud looks like now. Nothing. It's still just a big swarm. I think if I were... Yeah, like I can imagine if things went differently for me and I really struggled to make friends on the station or whatever and couldn't find a way home. I didn't find whatever. I don't know. Who knows how things could have gone? Who knows? I actually am wondering how often dialogue choices are influenced by these. Right? Like, I'm wondering if other dialogue choices come up, kind of like how, Fallout or whatever would do them, but except it doesn't tell you. So it doesn't present the locked out option with the skill check next to it. It just doesn't present it. Or you click on it and it just says, if you have this skill, it goes this way. And if you don't have this skill, it goes a different way. So I'm really curious to do a second run through of this. On my own. I probably won't do it on stream. I've had enough narration, I think. But I'd be really curious to do another run of this and just play it differently with a different set of skills and see how things play out, right? That'd be very interesting to see. Okay. Emphis is cooking, right? Emphis is cooking. He'll be done cooking tomorrow. So I want to just sunbathe a tiny bit. I need more scrap. Yeah, I want to finish some of these actions. These dice suck. Dice suck, dude. Oh no! I'm starving! Hitting starving made me lose condition. You bastards. Should have sunbathed first. Fuck. Wasn't expecting to lose. Oh, come on, really? Okay, I need a really good sunbathe action here. All right, there we go. Now I need 2 scrap. I need another scrap because I damaged myself from going into starvation. That was dumb. Of me. I made that mistake. Alright. Okay, don't do anything risky with just one. No, that's the first time we hit starvation, so I mean, like, now we know what that does, I guess. And then I want to put in some work here, maybe? That should be easy. Neutral. Blah. Alright. And I've already repaired myself. I'm going to feed the cat again. End the cycle. I want this cat. I want this cat, damn it. I want this cat to love me. I'm going to feed it twice a day. Okay. Emphis is ready. Emphis is preparing the Matsutake caps. He cleans them carefully with a damp cloth before shaving the stalks as if he was sharpening a pencil. His knife slides through them, revealing the bright white of the flesh within. These are good, Sleeper. Very good, he says without looking up. I bartered with Mingi for some kelp too so we can brew the dashi. Dashi? A soup base. Very good. Emphis slides the sliced Matsutake mushrooms to one side and takes out a closed pan. He opens the lid. You see the green wafer of kelp sitting in a bath of water. Been soaking it since last cycle, Emphis explains. Should be good to warm now. He places the pan over the burner and turns it on low. We have some time now. He wipes his hand clean and throws the cloth over his shoulder. However, there is one difference this cycle, he smiles. You have been the one providing the ingredients, so it's my turn to provide a story. Okay. Good. The story is important to me. He gestures for you to both sit on the folding stools behind the stall. You see these? Emphis runs a hand over his forearm, tracing the circular scars that mark them like perfect bite marks. Conway called it an anchored interface rig, a mechanical control device for piloting a heavy-duty extraction suit in low-G industrial operations. We call it a bone suit. He points to a pattern of larger circles on his shoulder. They drill in and anchor it here, then all the way down the arm. He taps each scar on the way. It maps mechanical movements to the suit exactly, a 1-to-1 mechanical replication. You swing your arm, a 2-ton arm swings too. You should have seen the recruitment vids. Strong people and even stronger suits tearing through stone and scrap. Superheroes. Half my graduating year signed up, from company school to company shuttle. Conway from birth to death. He stares off into the distance for a moment, fighting with the memories. But the bone suits weren't good. The rate of failures was high, and failures meant arms torn off, anchors torn out, broken bones. Bad stuff. So after a while, Conway discontinued them. No longer competitive, they said. He checks the broth, turning down the heat and adding the mushrooms. So there we were, hundreds of us with surgical alterations for suits that didn't work. They sent us home, back to that company colony that spat us out to be cleaners, drivers, cooks. They gave us drugs for the pain and told us to make something of ourselves. When I deserted, bribing some passing spacers to take me into orbit. There were only me and a couple of others left. The rest just faded away. Arthritis, osteoporosis, they folded in on themselves like paper lanterns. That was my generation. The anchor points still ache, still burn. He touches the scars. But what burns worse is a betrayal. I've been on the eye a long time now, but that will never fade. Not that, and not the faces of my friends. Emphis reaches over and sprinkles a handful of leaves into the broth. It's ready. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me. I will not let their story die, and as long as I am telling it, it will remain. Emphis pours the broth into a double-walled metal bowl and hands it to you. The heat radiates through your hands, and the smell drifts up, rich and sharp, like a pine forest after the rain. You drink the broth slowly, chewing the matsutake and thinking. Emphis busies himself with cleaning the pans in the bowl, sealing the kelp back up for another day. Then he quietly comes to sit with you while you finish your meal. Neither of you speak, preferring instead to let the story linger in the air a little longer. It is not that there is nothing to say, it is that sometimes in the moments after something, speaking breaks the spell. So you both idle, eager to be in each other's company, Emphis taking longer over his cleaning, his packing, and you savoring the final dregs of broth. When you finally finish and hand him the bowl, you feel the spell break and the story leaves you both. And as you leave, you know that both of you are somehow a little more empty and a little more full than before. Nice. An achievement. Trades food and stories with a local. Alright, that drive is complete as well. That's it for Emphis now. Just buy food. See, that was a nice story. You learned something about Emphis, and that wouldn't have happened if I had become an AI. Sorry, Free Frag. Free Frag, like, it doesn't matter, but just be an AI. I like that. That was a nice story. Okay. Well, it's not nice. It's horrible what happened to him and his friends, but I'm glad that I heard it, is what I should say. Glad to have heard that story. Alright. I've got matsutake that I can export. I don't know what the droll caps are used for. I can't do anything with them. I can't even sell them. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Alright, I need scrap. So we're gonna grab a scrap. Use a 5 here. I don't want that to happen again. What happened last time. Yeah, we're pretty close, I think, now. There's only a couple things left for me to do, and then, yeah, we are ready to do the story expansion, I think. Let's just keep working on the bar, I guess, for now. Hold on, I feel like there was one other thing. What was one other thing? Oh yeah, I can sell these matsutake mushrooms. How much do these sell for? 80 cryo. That's pretty good. Waiting for Bliss as well, I think. One more day on Bliss. I have one upgrade point. I actually can't use one upgrade point anymore, because everything in the one upgrade point cost has been bought. 1, 2, 3, 4 drives, so potentially 4 more points. That gives me 5, so that gives me a 2 and a 3. So I can have a +2 in 3 skills and a perk. Another perk, and then I will have one skill that's not as good as the rest of them. Alright. Let's keep helping Tala with a bar, I guess. So the 5 and the 4 will both come out to 6. Reroll this, maybe? Really? Alright. Maybe I can finish this? Oh. Come on. Ah, yeah. Tala stands back from the newly finished still and tub, hands on hips. Look at this, she grins. The overlooked distillery in all its glory. She squeezes you around the shoulders. Thank you. How's sourcing ingredients? Tala smiles. I think I've got most of it covered between the food factories in the low end and the farm stacks on the greenway. However, she pauses, there's an issue. Tell me. Well, Girola is the drink, as you probably guessed, is named after Girola mushroom. That's what gives it the golden color and earthy taste. The alcohol is infused with mushrooms along with a mix of spices. That means you need Girol caps to make Girol, but no one wants to supply us. The distilleries on the Greenway are taking all the stock from the farms out there, so it's hard to get a single cap across Founder's Gap. However, I have an idea. She smiles. We can grow Girol caps here. She gestures at the increasingly equipment-filled back room. I can bring you mushrooms. Tala gives you a pitying look. Where's your vision? Any outside supplier means they take a cut. Okay, maybe not you, but someone, somewhere takes a cut. Tala puts a hand on the still. We made a still. We set all this up. How hard can growing mushrooms be? They don't need light. They barely need soil. We can do this, she pauses. Or at least we could if we had something to grow them from. Like spores? Exactly. Suddenly you feel like you've walked into a trap. And you are the perfect person to get me those spores, she nods rapidly. Think about it. You built the still. You're great with plants. You know the eye like the back of your hand. Need I go on? Are you flattering me? If it's working, then yes, she grins sheepishly. Look, I can't leave the bar, and the other people picking up shifts, she grimaces. I'm saying it has to be you. Fine. Wonderful. You'll love it over the Greenway. I think all that fresh air, open space, yeah, I've been over there. She sees your expression. Okay, I'm done. She turns back to look at the still and the fledgling distillery forming around it. It really is something, though, isn't it? And want to or not, you really have to agree. Alright, so does she want spores? She does. She wants 3 spores. Okay. I'll give you spores, then. Ella wants to set up a mushroom farm to feed the distillery. All she needs from you are some spores to start it off. They're so cute, says Tala, looking at the container of spores. Her excitement is infectious. The mushroom farm will make the back room of the Overlook into a miniature Girol factory. Could just give her the caps. Still nobody wants these caps. Nobody wants these Girol caps. Mingy doesn't. Mingy does kelp, not Girol. Also, what's going on with Castor? It's so weird that Castor's just sitting here. Like I didn't finish it? I don't even have a drive for Castor. I'm not sure. Alright. End the cycle. I've seen better days. Oh, Moritz again. Sleeper. Moritz is leaning against the corridor wall. It's time. He looks away. Big job just came in. Grand finale. You up for it? I'm ready. Alright then, we're in business. He pushes away from the wall. This has to work, Sleeper. Has to. He looks down. If it doesn't, are we in trouble? The bay, you mean? He shrugs. We were already in trouble before you got here. The work so far hasn't been enough. Look, Bliss has had a rough time of it. I thought you of all people would understand that. He runs a hand through his hair. Sorry, didn't mean to be... He smiles. Bliss is a good one. She gave me a chance. I owe her. He straightens up. I know you have your own things going on, Sleeper. We all do. But the Bay needs someone. Bliss needs someone. Hell, I need someone to help me keep Bliss from spinning out completely. He scratches the side of his head. Otherwise, there's not much I can do. He shakes his head. And I would hate not to pay back my debts. Moritz stretches. I've got to get back, he nods and walks away. I'm out. See you up there. Okay. Oh, the scrappers are back. I'm gonna buy all their scrap. I'm fucking rolling in it. I have almost 400 cryo. It's like just a couple of these drives that I can finish, and then I'm gonna go do that story expansion. Okay, but we're done for tonight. So likely with the way how fast we've been making progress, now that kind of I've got my flow or whatever, it's quite likely that we'll get to it on the next stream. Get to that story expansion. And I think that's it. Because then after that story expansion, they released the second game. And I don't know when we'll get around to that or what. But we're getting there. It's a great game. I love the stories. It's awesome. I love it. Good role-playing game. This is a good, just pure role-playing game. They also apparently have a single-player tabletop game that's like a choose-your-own-adventure game with dice, and it uses kind of the same system, where every day you roll dice, and then you spend dice to determine the outcome for different story actions and stuff. It seemed pretty interesting. It's like a dice-based choose-your-own-adventure book. Kind of cool. Okay. Anyway, that is it. That's it for tonight. Thanks for coming by, hanging out, Smork. I appreciate it. Thanks for everyone else who's lurking or watching later on Twitch or YouTube. I appreciate it a lot. Okay, everyone, be good. I'll see you on Thursday. We probably maybe we finish this on Thursday. We'll see. We got credits already, but just a little bit more to do. Okay, be good to yourselves, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. I hope to see you on Thursday. All right, good night.